All right, so I just want to ask my question, and it's specifically... Okay, Blake, you're fucking done. I was about to ask my fucking question. You scream, you fuck everything up. I'm literally probably going to throw your computer in our fireplace and turn it on. Oh. Yeah. And then the podcast is really over now.
Failure.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Try the Goulash. My name is Blake. You are tuning in to the end of season 1.
No. What?
It's ending.
Well, I'm just going to say my name.
Who?
It's Alex.
Oh, hey Al. Is Will here?
Hey. I'm Ferdinand. I killed Will.
Just kidding. It's Willie over here.
Well, obviously.
No way.
Yeah, they can tell. You're not that annoying sounding.
Great joke.
We're off to a good start.
Very successful.
This is the
Oh,
final
God.
this is the final episode of season 1, and it's also the final episode of the podcast entirely. And see you guys later.
We're done. We're out
It's
of it.
only a 1-minute podcast.
You
all
don't
you
know
get.
this, but this entire first season, we're trying to like go for cringiest podcast on the internet, and I think this intro just solidified that. I think we won.
We want people to want us to be funny without actually being funny, and then they just get disappointed.
Yeah, is that what we
Yeah,
want?
we're here to upset you guys.
Okay.
Keep listening.
So, yeah, you're tuning in. This is episode 15. This is the last episode of Try the Goulash,
This
season
is our
1.
Quinceañera, guys. Let's have a fiesta.
Okay. Let's go get our permit.
Let's take some shots of tequila.
We're talking about success. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Success. What does it mean? What is it? Fucking fuck. I don't know.
We just figured we didn't have it, so let's talk about it. Maybe, strategize on ways to get it.
Oh, God.
I want it.
How do you guys define success? Let's go. Here we go. Buckle up.
I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and this is why I thought it would be good to talk about. Because I've been reading some books, and a lot of the topics in them are talking about... I really like self-help books, because I need help.
I think we all do. I like reading those books as well.
Yeah, it just gives you more strategies on how to live. And I'm just so confused most of the time. And it's probably because of this whole success conundrum. I feel like I bounce around from different things. Like there's times where all I want is to be recognized and respected as a good artist. Other times I just want my voice to phonate clearly and smoothly without puberty squeaking as a 25-year-old.
Well, you got to get up in here.
That would
if
be
that's
successful.
What you want.
No, it's just about my
It's
vocal
right-
cords
it's
being
right here,
shredded
buddy.
because I yell all the time. It has nothing
It's
to do with
because
how
you're a loud
close I am
fucking
to the
person,
mic.
dude.
Yeah, I just
Just-
never
just
learned
chill
inside
out.
voice.
Yeah, you're ugly.
My parents didn't teach me
yeah.
inside voice because they yell too. So anyway,
Your mom is special.
both my parents are very loud. When they
Shout
have an
out.
opinion especially.
Shout out to Shay and Dale.
If you don't want to hear it, you should probably just leave the vicinity. Cause anyway,
He's a loud person.
success.
So you're reading these books.
I'm reading books. I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in order to consider myself successful based on my own terms and definition of what success is. So when you ask for that, the first elements of life that I think are finance. So financial security,
This is how
just
you
career
define success.
in general. Like if I have enough money, if I'm like comfortable financially, if I like what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, and like I am giving and receiving love, I would those would be the ingredients to a successful life.
So you're defining
That's
it
what I
as
strive for.
your job and your relationships.
Not just those things, but to optimize all of those things. So maybe it's something ethereal that can't even be obtained. I hope so, because then I'll just keep chasing it and getting better and better.
I think you can definitely feel successful at things. It depends on the situation. It depends on what it is. If you want to be successful at having the most money, you can be successful at that. If you want to be successful at fucking any Guinness World Record, pogo on your own dick, how many ever times? Like, you can do it that way.
2.5.
Yeah.
We trying yours after this, dude?
No.
That
I'm
is
gonna
weird.
Well,
Pogo on my dick, dude.
yeah.
That's a new one.
Sounds like
That's what they're gonna be saying on
new
the
hit
street by
single.
next year, dude.
That's like Cardi B's new song.
shit.
Pogo on my dick. Pogo.
Okay. I
which could be a
apologize for both
successful
these.
song. It just depends on the situation.
What's a successful song?
In my own definition?
Yeah.
Okay, successful song in my own definition comes down to two things. Obviously, this is personal taste because music is subjective just like art. But for me, a song is most successful when it needs two components. And a lot of times I hear songs with one or the other, which makes it a good song. But a really, really fucking good song will have both of these. It'll have good music, like a good beat or whatever, music that is pleasurable to my ears. A lot of times I'll hear a song with just that. Or it'll have killer lyrics that resonate with me. And a lot of times I'll hear a song with just that. But if they have both, if they have good lyrics and good music, oh my
So
God.
vague. That's
yeah,
literally
I'm
the
completely-
two components of a song.
I'm completely
Music is the
different.
most vague thing to
Yeah.
describe a song
I
as.
thi-
That's what it is.
I
What
think-
do you mean good music? Melody? Are you
That's-
talking about
I mean,
can I
bass?
give
Are you
my
talking
answer,
about
boys?
percussion?
I think what matters most to a song being successful is whether or not you want to listen to it again.
That's a pretty
Okay.
simple.
That's how you
Because
define it?
it's
I like that
it's
answer.
something that like gets your attention. Number one, anytime I listen to the song the first time through, I'm not worried about the lyrics. That is my least of the worries.
I would agree.
Like that's bullshit because you
No,
just
I
said
would agree. That's
the
usually
lyrics.
the
bud.
music is the first thing I always pay attention to, and then on the re-listen, if the lyrics are good, then it's solid. Then it's a successful
Yeah.
song.
And I think a lot of that deals with like who like the artists that you like to listen to.
Well, yeah, it's all
Because
subjective.
it's like, oh, it's yada yada.
Well,
like
yeah.
Kingdom Hearts.
There's success on a personal, subjective basis, but I'm like asking, what
I would
is
just
a
say-
successful song?
If it's
Not
just
what
catchy,
makes you like a song. I'm saying, would you consider a successful song? Like the artist that made the song, that piece of art of music, what justifies them doing a good job and being successful in their endeavor?
I mean, if you're just going after that, I can't define that because I'm not the artist. Only the artist can define what their own music is. Like, I could say it's popularity, how many times it's been played, but maybe the artist doesn't give a shit about that, and maybe it's about how it changes a person's perspective of the world. I don't know. I can't do that unless I've written the music.
That is true.
A successful song. We're not even going to talk about this anymore because it's totally a tangent. It's not even an interesting one.
I mean, it's kind of interesting.
But I'm going to compare what I think is a successful song. Two songs by the same band. The successful song is What I Got by Sublime. The other Sublime song that I don't think is as successful is Pool Shark.
Yeah, they're
Both
both
are
good.
fantastic songs, but Pool Shark is just like so depressing and like real. Like it's honestly probably more artistic than What I Got.
It definitely is.
and like way more like soulful and meaningful to the artist, I assume.
But it depends on what Bradley wanted
So
when
like
he
he
wrote
expressed
them.
himself successfully in that, but I think what I got's probably more successful just because most of the listeners that don't know Sublime, you know, maybe they heard What I Got, but if you don't listen to Sublime, you probably haven't heard Pool Shark. That's like, you have to be kind of like a fan of the band to have heard that song.
Yeah, it's kind of
They don't
like
play
a
that on the
buried
radio.
track. It's kind of a buried track. Yeah, I would agree.
Anyway, I'm not even like
Well, you're the one who
enthralled
asked
in
the
that
question.
topic. Why are we talking about that?
Well, I'm gonna get into.
Well, I never even defined what I thought success was.
Go for
Oh
it,
yeah,
Willie.
what do you think?
Well, I think mine is very basic. You're given a task at hand, and if you come out on top, then you're successful.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
No, he totally nailed
That's
it.
so vague.
It has to be vague because it's situational. That's why I
Yeah.
said the pogo dick thing.
So
Like,
basically,
if I am on a
whether or
goal
not-
to make 100K, if I make 100K, I'm successful. If I'm on a goal to spread,
it can be even way more basic, more simple.
yeah, no, it
So,
can be. That one was
whether or
very
not
concrete
you-
example. Like a less concrete example would be like make someone feel loved.
Because, this is what I hate about success. We see these pictures in the world, and really I try to sit back and just live in the moment and say, hey, how did I get better today? Number one. Where do I need to improve? I don't know. That's just
Okay,
me.
so that brings me to my counterpoint of what you just said. You guys are basically saying success is defined as making a goal and achieving it.
I don't.
You said whatever
not-
you do, you come out on top.
That's
so
a-
you're basically saying
that's
if
a
you
part
come
of
out
it.
on bottom, then it wasn't a success.
But
Whereas-
it is success at the same time because number
Okay, so
one,
that point
you
is-
can't always win, and number two, even if I'm not successful, I'm gonna learn something.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
The achieving of the goal is only a part of
Yeah,
success.
I mean, it's a
I
big
don't-
part, I would say.
I don't
but-
consider anything. I think this is what you're going for, Al. I don't consider anything a true failure until I've given up. Like, I think failure is part of the struggle. So, like, if let's say the podcast is a good example. Let's get into this podcast that you're listening to right now. Hey, Goons, how you doing? I love you.
obviously it's not successful because we don't have a single
Okay,
subscription.
okay, but I'll tell you why it's not a failure. I'll tell you why. Because we're continuing to do it. We're like not stopping and we're continuing to grow. I remember on episode 1 we were like all fucking nervous and we didn't know what we were doing, and now we have like a system down and we're not stopping and we're planning a season 2. So I would almost consider this a success just because it's not a failure. It's only a failure if we throw in the towel and we're like, fuck it, we suck.
Blake is very true.
So
Or he's right
basically-
here. He's very right.
Success
In my opinion, that's
when talking in terms of endeavors, you can't not have success in an endeavor if you make it an endeavor in the first place. Unless you just give up.
I just finished a drink and I couldn't really follow that well.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, as far as like the podcast example, what we're doing right now, to me personally, we're in between a failure and a success. I wouldn't tell someone I have this successful podcast. Like, I wouldn't really describe it like that. But I also wouldn't say I have this podcast that was a complete failure, because it's not that either.
so we're on the road to the high road.
We're like on a path right now, and that's like, it's gray. It's a gray area. It's like neither one of those things to me personally.
Can you even
So we're in purgatory.
Yes.
can you even
Oh, you
label
Catholic fans.
success until something is completely terminated, completely after the fact? Can you say I am a successful business owner if you're still running that business? It's like, well, even though you've had 20 good years with high profit margins. Like
that's
you haven't
different. That's
not
different
tanked yet.
because that's more concrete. Because someone could say, if my business sustains my life and my expenses, is successful. So even though the business is still continuing, it would still be successful.
And like, you never know. There's so many situations in that instance. Like, the market could just be really shitty. We could be in a fucking recession. Like, who knows the outcomes?
There's too many
Sometimes
situations.
it's not a businessman's problem with how the market and how everything's running.
Think of it like this. Let's say you're running a marathon and you're like halfway through it and you're not quitting the marathon. Like you're still running, but you haven't ran 26 miles yet. What would you consider that?
Not a success, a failure.
It depends. No, it depends.
Is it a
on the
failure? You're still
perspective.
running.
If you trained for a marathon and you cannot cross that finish line, even if you had to walk, like,
Is it a
that's
failure?
that's a failure in my
You
mind.
didn't run.
That's-
You ran the marathon, but you didn't finish it.
You didn't finish it.
Let's say you trained and made it to
Satyr.
like 22 miles. Is that a failure? That's a fucking long
That's
run.
It's a failure of
because-
achieving your goal of finishing a marathon. Yes,
Exactly.
it's
But
based on point of view and
But
perspective.
you're still okay. So like, I would only consider it, me personally, I would only consider it a failure if after you ran 22 miles and stopped, if you never trained anymore and never went back
That's
to a
what
marathon.
I'm saying. It's perspective point
That's
of
a
view.
failure.
If you're a paraplegic, walking a mile is a fucking miracle
I mean, that's
and
crazy.
success story. Like
Sure.
it doesn't matter. Like your goal, it's goal based. Like that's what I'm saying. So like,
I don't know if it's
can you
goal based though.
Is there even success if you don't have an aspiration to begin with? How can you even say, "Oh, yep, that was successful," if there was no like intent?
What I'm saying is,
Like I took a shit.
yes,
Yeah, I was
success.
successful in taking a shit.
Success
But, like,
is very
who
can
even
be like
writes
very
about that?
it can be very concrete. Like it's like you run 26 miles or you don't. That's very black and white success. But if someone runs 22 miles and gives up, but then they keep training and next year they run 23 and then they can't make it any farther and then they train harder and next year they make it 24, are all those attempts failures? Because I wouldn't see it as failures. I'd be like, this guy is fucking training his ass off.
It's not a failure
It's
of
a success.
leading a healthy life. Like you're an active person who is
Now,
pretty physical.
Here's the counter. If he ran 22
But
miles,
it is a failure at running the marathon. You did not finish the marathon.
the
You didn't
marathon.
complete your goal.
As far as the marathon,
you
yes.
signed up. You probably paid $100 to run this marathon, and you wanted to finish the 26.2. Nobody has a sticker that's on the back of their car that says 22 and a half. They failed at finishing the marathon, but they were successful at being an ambitious person
There
and
you
running
go.
a lot.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly.
saying. It's perspective. It's point
Yes.
of view. It's all based on your intent.
I think failure
They're
is
not a
only.
failure, a human.
I think so. Maybe instead of trying to define success, I can easily define failure. It's when you give up. That's failure.
Or when you just like can't do it. Whenever, even if you don't consciously give up, like say for instance, our high school football team, we couldn't ever win a state championship. We went a lot. We went several times, but we never fucking won. We have won before, but not when I was there.
Right.
And it wasn't because we gave up. It's not like we were like, you know what, Webb City, you can totally fucking win this. Here you go. No, it's because they were fucking better than us. We
Right.
lost. We failed at the goal of taking it to the dome and bringing home a state championship.
Correct.
We failed. We didn't give up. We didn't succeed.
I guess
We
personally,
halfway succeeded.
I don't feel as much of a failure if I continue to try. Like, yes, it is, you didn't succeed, but if I continue to try, it doesn't feel as bad. So the moment we stop doing this podcast, I'm going to be like, fuck me, this sucks. But if we just keep grinding, boys, if we just keep coming back every week and fucking doing this shit, then it's not a failure to me. So basically, with this project, if we ever stop, I'm going to cry.
I mean, that's really what I was trying to get at with the whole question.
I mean,
All right, so
about
we're
what?
done now, right?
About
We answered it.
perspective? Yeah, you're right. It does.
I'm just trying to make an argument. You guys are like trying to put like a definitive.
No,
Spin
I just
on it.
was plain Jane with my definition of success. That's
I mean,
all
I'm just
did.
telling you my personal take on what I define as success or failure.
Okay, so you're on your deathbed and somebody asks you, "Do you think you were successful in this life?"
Well, yes.
What would are you saying like if you died tomorrow, you'd be like, "Yeah, fuck yeah."
Okay,
Or I'm talking about like fast forward 40 years, hopefully more.
I have some things that I suck at in this life that I've been trying to correct my whole life.
What do you want to do to consider yourself a success by the time you die?
And if I was on my deathbed and I still hadn't overcome those things, and someone was like, "Are you successful?" I would say I tried until the end. And in my head, I would feel successful.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, you would?
I would.
we're not perfect, boys.
Yeah.
And
that's what I'm saying.
I think that mentality of you on your deathbed, not thinking your life is a success, like that's to
sad.
me is bullshit. Like,
It's sad.
of course, if you have enough pride, I feel like anyone should say yes. Like, just in your own, I don't know. That is me. Like, even if I've done, I mean, we've all done shitty things, and I don't know. That's just my overall thought is at the end of the day, like, did I do things successfully? Yes. Were all the things successfully? Maybe not.
Yes.
But you got to look, I don't know. The positives outweigh the negatives here for me.
I just like, I mean, I've already said it on this cast so far, but like, I think to me, it really comes down to like the will to get back on the horse.
Well,
like as
yeah.
long as that's there, I think that's what I personally define as true success.
Yeah, but you're dying. You're not getting back on any horse. You're staying down.
Well,
son.
as long as I got back on the horse my whole life until I died, I would consider it a success.
I guess that's what I'm asking because you're dead, so it is terminal. There's no continuity to it at all. There's no, as long as I keep trying, as long as the podcast keeps going, you know what I mean? Like, what if somebody comes in here and steals all our shit? They just take our laptops and all our money.
Well, if we quit, then that would suck, but I would hope we would just like figure out a way to get
We'd
back
still come
on
back to this living room and just talk to each other
Yeah.
every Wednesday
No, it
night.
wouldn't.
You guys
We'd
could just
drink
come for live
a
recordings,
cocktail.
but it really wouldn't be a
You
recording.
wouldn't get to you. You wouldn't hear it.
You could just-
You'd be better off.
You could just sit in the circle and
maybe
sing
that's the new
Kumbaya.
trend. That's the new fucking trend. There's always a next trend. The new trend is
We're saying,
live,
"Fuck you,
live
podcasts."
podcasts.
Fuck
We're just gonna
you,
invite
Mike.
people and be like, "It's live."
Yep.
And it's never recorded.
Yeah. Never.
We've done like 7,000 episodes. We're on season
You know,
900.
we're putting
Guys,
put
I'm
it on
not
these
shitting you. So
podcasts
let's
for our
like take
friends.
Al's joke for an example. If we did 7,000 episodes and we didn't have one sub, I
That
would be
is a
like,
fucking failure.
that is a
right
fucking
there.
success. I'd be like, God damn, we just smashed some records somewhere.
Yeah, because
like,
we did more than anybody ever has in podcast history times like
that's what I'm saying.
1,000.
I think success
And-
comes down to just trying your hardest. Like, if we did 7,000 and didn't have any subs, like, everyone can fucking suck our dicks.
Yeah, because basically infinitely everybody else that's ever made a podcast and gotten a sub has had way more motivation than we have.
Yeah,
'cause we've
so
gotten
like
this
we
far.
fucking won. Like that's the case. Even though it's a failure in the sense that we didn't make this a living, we didn't develop a following. It's like, God damn, we fucking tried.
Folks, the reason we brought you here today is so that you can revel in our egomaniacal ways and just kind of listen to our conceited bullshit. We're the best.
We're the best.
We're the best, and nobody thinks so. Guys, you have answered every single question that I've asked super fucking vaguely, and it's not getting to the point that I'm trying to get to. I want to know the details. Don't give me this pretentious ass answer and try and state your philosophy on life and what you think
Okay.
people should feel about themselves to feel reassured about, oh, you're successful, yeah, bullshit. You have goals. Tell me your goals. What validates your existence? what petty bullshit makes you feel good and that you can brag about as a success. Come on, give me the goods.
All right.
Tell me the shit.
All right,
All right,
Lamborghini. I want to. No, I'm just joking.
I actually,
that's something to compare to.
if my last poop is a ghost wipe, that is a success.
That's all you want in life.
That's all I want.
You could trial and error, career.
No, I'm
moves,
You're
just
like an
kidding.
old man. You're like an old
Women.
man.
Yeah,
you
it's like,
wife.
oh yeah, it's
You wife,
dry.
It's dry. You're just like,
Yeah.
I killed
And now
300
you-
people.
And then I
you
die
don't- and
30
you don't
seconds
fucking
later.
stand.
Yeah.
You do it on the pod.
Yeah,
You probably can't stand by that time.
I'll be standing.
I'll be
Just
a
for you,
lean to
Al.
the side wiper when I'm 70. I'm sure.
No.
We gotta
That's
throw the
not-
jokes in now because it's probably about to get real serious
Yeah.
and just not entertaining.
I don't think so.
What would I think is successful on my deathbed? On like a life review. I would hope that I had found a partner and probably had kids. That's probably on the list. I'm nowhere in the fucking vicinity to even
Vicinity.
think about doing that
That's
right
a
now.
PH, folks. Vicinity.
Vicinity. I'm nowhere in
Alicia.
in the room thinking about kids right now, or even marriage. But I would hope by you say on your deathbed, I'm picturing Blake as old man Blake. I might get hit by a bus tomorrow. I have no idea.
Old man.
Old man. Okay, that's fucking bleeped. You dropped the last name, dude. See you, bud.
That's payback from a couple weeks ago.
Except you said your own name, you idiot.
No.
No,
he
I
said
said his
that.
name. I said his name. I would hope I was married and had. I feel like kids. It sounds like a scary thing, but honestly, like, I think if I died as an old man and I had children that were there that were then adults, I feel like that's just like a fuck yeah. Like, I fucking made a person and raised them. Like, that's just gotta feel awesome.
I agree.
Interessante.
Can I
Yeah.
touch base just
Yeah,
on this point?
do it.
I think
Touch my base.
why
Just the base of it.
Okay, dude, just get the fuck out of here.
Where's
Go
the
eat
fuck?
some cheddar.
You find me the fuck and I'll take it out of here.
Okay. So basically, kind of what Blake was saying about like raising a family. I just look at like my parents and what they have given me. Like, I want to give my kids an even better life than what they have given me. Just kind of like to put it forward, number one, with
It's nice.
how I've been raised. But I don't know, like if you could look back and think of like all the memories you had like with your kids as a kid, or like growing up, or like your grandchildren, like that, I don't know. I think that would define that, just that topic of what Blake said with raising a family, and I don't know. I would see that as a success there. And it's also totally in my checkbox.
Yep. I don't have anything in my checkbox about like having a big house or having a car. Material stuff, I don't really give a shit about.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice. don't
No,
get me
it would be
wrong.
nice. I'm not saying I'm like not affected by materialism. I definitely am. But on my deathbed, I don't give a shit about that stuff. Like, if I have a fucking mansion and 5 Lamborghinis, I'm not going to be like, oh, I have a mansion and 5 Lamborghinis. I was successful. My life is complete. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be a spouse, kids. I am going to hope. This gets a little vague. I'll try to make it not so vague. I'm going to hope in my life that I took advantage of the time that I was given. As in, I hope that I took risks. I hope that I did things that took me out of my comfort zone. Like, if I played it safe my whole life and I didn't do anything like that, I'm probably going to regret it a little bit. I'm going to hope that I went to that country on that spontaneous trip and got food poisoning and had a hell of a story. Like, I hope that I have shit like that to talk about. I also hope that I spread love. Like, that's like really important to me. I want to think about all the actions I did, and I hope that they all are the best for like humanity. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I hope that, let's just take career for example. I would hope on my deathbed that I picked the career that will help people versus the career that would make me more money. That would make me feel successful if I chose the one to help people more.
I agree. And I don't like to look at my career at being like successful just because I'm so young right now. And I mean, who really knows what my true calling is?
We're all going to end up doing. No one knows.
I could be doing something completely different than what I'm doing right now in 10 years. So I don't want to weigh that option as being successful. Just, I mean, I think no matter what, if I have a full-time job and I'm paying the bills, living a good life, like carelessly and not having to worry about money, like that's a successful job in itself.
Yeah, I would agree. As far as job-wise goes?
Yeah, like no matter what you're doing. Because, I don't know, work, like everyone is always like find something that you love and it's not work. Like, it's always going to be work to me. And I think I've touched base on this before, but that's, I don't know. A career is a career. And
we mentioned this earlier when we were talking about vagueness, but like everyone has something. I'm not going to give specifics here, but everyone has something that they like wish they were better about. Like, they probably see it as like a flaw in their person. And I don't know if stuff like that is ever going to go away, but I hope on my deathbed, I'm like, God damn, I tried as hard as I could to like be the good person. Mm-hmm. I know that's like super vague, but like, I hope on my deathbed, I'm like, I fucking tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Al, what's your take? Let's hear it, buddy.
I'm trying to like listen to you guys and also fabricate an answer for myself. It's really hard to do.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
And this like comes financially. I don't, at my deathbed, I don't want my kids paying for a single thing, like my funeral or anything.
That's just like a personal goal of yours?
Yeah. Just like
That's
have
what I
enough
want to
money.
know.
And
Tell me stuff like that.
I mean, obviously,
everybody wants to fucking try and feel like a good person.
Yeah.
Tell me some specific ass shit.
I mean, that's one of them.
I mean, I could tell you stuff I want in my will, but that doesn't have anything to do with success.
No, I'm saying like there are milestones in your life and achievements that you want to have done in your life. Like, you guys don't have like big aspirations.
All my big goals are vague as shit. All my like biggest goal is to just be like spread love.
So, like,
That's
I'm
like
not
my
trying to
biggest
say,
goal.
like, I'm going to find my calling in this avenue of this life and about this time of my life and doing this. But, like, I know that I want to be able to be making money, people paying me to do things that only I can do, and people are paying me money for being me, essentially, and I want to be able to live like comfortably, not any more comfortable than I am right now physically. Like, I have all the comforts I would ever need in the world, if not more. Like, there's things that I'm living with now that I could probably live without, and I would consider myself successful. But I want to be able to have. I want more control and more power. Like, I want to,
as far as what,
improve my,
I mean, that's what we're all after, but
like,
what specifically?
I want social influence. I want people in my immediate community to, even if it's not consciously, like, they don't even have to know who I am, my identity, my ego, but I want them to be moved by me. I want to move people.
So you want to impact people. I want the same thing.
Not even like positive or negative. Like, I'm not trying to save the world or destroy it or conquer it. Like, I just want to have an effect. And I think if I live my life and I'm just like going through the motions and, saving for retirement and settling down and reproducing, that's going to be fine and I'll be able to be proud of that. But like, I want more.
I mean, I definitely think it would be cool if I could ditch the corporate life and, maybe come up with something on my own as far as a job, like be my own boss. I like strive for that kind of stuff, but I guess my head is so fucking big picture all the time that if that didn't happen, or if it did happen, I wouldn't define that as success on my deathbed. I want that shit, but I wouldn't fucking think of it as successful or not. It would be dope.
See, that's the thing though, is like, I want that and I know I can achieve it. I know I can achieve making something out of my life, my skills, my situation, and like, the possibilities are endless. Like, I'm not saying I have to make a certain dollar amount, but I want to be able to push myself and try and start endeavors to the point where I feel like I could make infinite money or connections or places to go. Like, I want to feel like that, and I know I can, and I know if I don't even try, like if I am just like going to continue being in a quote unquote 9 to 5 job, even though I work from 7 to 3:30 until I die, I don't think I will consider myself a success, regardless of the circumstance. I will think of myself based on my opinion now as a 25-year-old. If I come back and listen to this podcast when I'm like,
yeah, let's leave a note to future Al.
Like, if you're still doing manual labor for less than $20 an hour, Al, you fucked up, bud. You fucked up.
I still love you, Al. If you're
I don't
working, then.
I wouldn't think. I just like. I want that shit too. I really do. But I just wouldn't define that as success or not. Personally, I'm glad you do. Because that means when you own a business someday, I can just come work for you. So that's nice.
Yes.
But no, I really, it's like.
That's nice, because I almost feel like it's a plague sometimes.
No.
Like, there's times where I'm like, well,
definitely
I don't even want to picture that. 85-year-old Alex on his deathbed, having not done what he said he was going to do, even publicly on the podcast. Like, I'm not going to make it to 85. Like, I'm not going to make it halfway there.
Honest to God, the other day in the shower, I was just like lost in my head because that's like my thought chamber. And I was thinking about some shit we talked about when we were lifting. And I like can see your drive in as far as like finances and like career. And I was thinking like, God damn, I just got to sit back and let Al do this shit and I'll just work for him later. Like, I seriously thought that. I was like, this is awesome.
Well, start reading some books.
No, I think the only thing I would consider a success or failure is if I tried hard. The only like tangible things would be like kids. And the only other tangible thing I can think of, which this is kind of gray, like you can't really measure this, but you kind of can, is I always have pictured my wife being someone that I have this like connection that is like so deep. Like I've always pictured myself having married to a woman, this mystery dream girl, and I just like have developed and like worked so hard to like break through this like barrier into this like realm of love I didn't know existed. Like I want to have that kind of connection with somebody. That's probably like another checklist.
So both of your definition of success involves family. Like you both. So are you saying that if you don't start a family / fall in love and have that connection to the point of reproduction, then you are a failure?
No, I think my picture in my head that I have mapped out for my life is me having a wife, having a family. That's my initial picture of my life. If I don't have that, I wouldn't say that my life is not successful. That's just not what I'm envisioning.
So are failure and success necessarily polar opposite?
I don't think they
No,
are
because
necessarily polar opposite.
I think being successful is learning from your failures. Like, you cannot be successful unless you fail.
I'm going to sound like, for the first
Undefeated.
time ever on this podcast, I'm going to sound like an arrogant
I mean-
asshole for the first time ever. But I honestly feel like I've definitely had failures in my life. But up to like almost 27 years of age, I feel like I am pretty successful in my life so far. Like, honestly, if I I don't want this to happen, but like if I was on my deathbed tomorrow, I'd be like, oh fuck, I like did some cool shit and I like tried pretty hard. Mm-hmm. So honestly, like, and I'm also like pretty easy on myself. If I was like 80 and I never met a woman and I never got to that realm of love that I want to get to, and I never had kids, I probably would be a little bummed, but I still wouldn't consider my life a failure. Like,
That's good.
I would probably be like, well, shit, I wish that would have happened. Do you remember earlier in this podcast, I was talking about like being on my deathbed and having regrets I didn't like get out of my comfort zone and take chances? That would have been one of those
Was
things.
that episode 1?
No, that was this episode. I talked about that this
Oh.
episode. That
I blacked
that would
out.
have been one of those things. I would have been like, fuck, I didn't have kids. It's okay that I didn't have kids. I'm still successful. But if I did have kids, that would be like fucking cool. Like, that'd be like getting out of my comfort zone bonus in life.
Yeah.
But you didn't succeed in surviving that cancer, did you?
No,
You died.
I'm dead.
Okay, let's not get depressed here, boys.
We started with death, to be fair.
Yeah, I know.
Episode 1
It's
was
true.
death. You
It's
guys,
true.
if you've listened this far, which you probably haven't, because you're nobody, because nobody listens.
Yeah, I know. So, as I was saying, going back to the
Yes.
podcast, what have you seen as a overall success just with the podcast? Like, it can be anything. And if you would like me to answer first, I will freely go.
Well, I haven't stabbed either one of you. By my books, that's a success. You're still here.
Yeah.
But it's
that
only
I am.
Monday.
I've got an answer, but you can go if you want.
I mean, go ahead.
Well, I like the fact that we continue to do this. We haven't stopped yet, so that's cool. We've done this for 15 weeks now. It's quite a while. And we're also still having fun. Like, I fucking look forward to this every night, every week. I'm like, God damn, it's podcast night. I like get excited about it.
Yeah.
That's a success.
Okay.
And we're continuing to grow too. Like, our ideas are always ever changing, which is also nice.
Alex has something to say. I know he does. Hit me, daddy. Okay, dude. Maybe I should never tell you that again.
I would consider it successful just in the simple fact that it's forced me to like research social media tactics. I haven't applied anything that I've learned. I'm on Instagram posting some garbage, but I've read some articles on, you know, the matrix of Instagram, and it's pretty confusing. It's hard, guys. So if you're a professional Instagrammer, if you're just a hot chick that posts selfies and has thousands of followers, good for you. You're doing it. Also, you have tits, so
Can
that's
I
cheating.
tell you a really random fact about Instagram right now?
What?
Guess how much Cristiano Ronaldo makes off of Instagram. He makes the most out of all sports stars off of Instagram.
What is it?
Before you tell me what it is, I was talking to my coworker today about people making money off Instagram. I don't even understand it. There's no ads. Like, how the fuck does this happen?
It's about like sponsored ads on like
The feed or
Yes.
something? I guess I just have never seen those. How much does he make? Oh my god, it's gonna fuck me up. I don't even know.
What?
I'm gonna say 100K.
week?
100K.
I think a year.
100K.
A year? 100,000? I bet it's 500,000.
More.
How much?
750,000.
What the fuck?
$750,000.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
What?
that's just from Instagram.
Well, Al's got the Instagram handle, so
Yeah, dude.
come on, dude.
Yeah. Get us the money.
Maybe I should try being a ravishly handsome, world-class Portuguese athlete. That would get our.
that would help.
That would get our
He's
followers
also,
up.
I mean, the
He's
only
also a
reason
fucking-
he's ravishly
Oh!
handsome.
That cat's coming back. I hate Cristiano Ronaldo.
The only reason he's
I'm a Messi
ravishly
fan,
handsome
baby.
is because of money. Like, you see like early pictures of him,
yes.
you're like, this guy's a goblin.
His early days at Manchester United. Oh, he had some hideous teeth. It's awful. Awful bad. He was.
Shout out Cristiano.
Yeah, dude.
I don't think a
You're a
single
pussy
female
still.
is or male
Yes.
is really complaining now. So
Yeah, I mean that man makes a ton of money, so he's
I don't-
very successful. But
I don't know what the fuck we're even talking about.
okay, so Al, going back to your social media, what else do you see, or are there any other things that you see as a success?
ritual.
in regards to
good habit forming. We have at least one day of the week where we are doing a collaborative, productive effort, even though there's not much fruit.
I just like producing something. It's just fun to make something.
It's cool to have some intent and some sort of conscious breath in life.
We're almost at 100 downloads on Podbeam. That's kind of successful in my book.
Thanks for downloading us, guys.
We're at as of
Subscribe,
today.
man.
Don't let my pessimism discourage you from continuing to listen, people that have downloaded. I'm not forgetting about you, you few supporters, and the people that are. I bet there's one person out there that is like, well, I kind of think these guys are funny.
I might sub.
probably just us.
It is my mom. But
Yeah.
Honest to God, as far as like success of this podcast, like when I'm gonna feel successful, I am not shitting you guys when I say this. I honestly feel this way. If we had 10 subscribers that interacted with us and gave us feedback, I would be like on top of the world. I'm not even joking.
So basically, like jazzing every night.
would you do a little jig?
Yeah, I would film it and put it on our tube channel. I'd
give
be
me
like,
would you give me a
Okay.
lap dance?
here's what's coming season 2. I
Would
hope
you
you're
give
ready.
me a lap dance?
We're revamping.
Would you give me a lap dance?
If
Would you?
listen, I'll answer right now. Audience, the goons, whoever, listen, we have no subs. I don't know who the fuck is listening to this. I sometimes will download the episodes, and I think those downloads count on Podbean. But I fucking guarantee you that it's not fucking 95 downloads worth. So I know someone out there is listening to this that I don't know.
Who are you?
And
Show yourself!
whoever you are,
It's probably the DEA guys.
whoever you are, even if it's the DEA, give us some fucking feedback. If we get fucking 10 subs and you guys give us comments and you want to see me give Will a lap dance, if that's your desire, it may be granted.
Okay, I like it.
That's it.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, I'm just gonna answer my own question. And why I think this podcast is a success, and I'm just gonna really switch up the mood here and
Wrap it
kind
up,
of get a little sappy with both of you, because this message goes for you two,
Oh, God.
and none of our goons out there.
Oh,
None of the
goons.
goons. It's for you.
I know what he's gonna say.
I think this podcast in itself, I mean, I've learned shit that I haven't known about you. And I think as like relationship wise, it also is kind of therapeutic and we kind of grow as a friendship.
Dude, it's very
That's
good.
what it's about, guys. We're building the Tri.
Exactly.
We're reinforcing this shit. We were already cool. We're even cooler now.
Yeah.
What other friend group does this just
right.
based on each other's personalities and shit? Everybody else is talking about politics and all their other shit. No. This is our pointless banter, folks.
Yeah.
This is it. This is us. This is raw.
Yeah, go get
We're
drunk.
establishing ourselves.
We are
It's the end.
Through whiskey.
It's a celebration.
Documenting our friendship.
It's
a
a
good
success.
point. That is true.
Go get wild. Go get naked. Run around the neighborhood. Celebrate.
Live
scream.
life. Yeah.
Try that motherfucking goulash.
Fuck
And
yeah.
spread
Have you
it.
tried it
That's
yet?
all you got to do.
Have you tried it?
All right.
To wrap this up, I think Will, you just brought me through the other side, dude.
I'm giddy.
I think I just learned about success and failure.
I've got a chub.
I think what you just taught me, dude, is in every situation you can find successes.
I agree.
Especially
I completely
when
agree.
any one or the combination of any of the three of us are involved. That's right.
Yeah, Will just brought me through the other side, goons.
Try-
You saw it first here.
And try again.
Yes. All I have to say is Blake, Al, and I are just about to kiss it. That's how we're gonna
Listen,
end
we're
it.
ending this cast because I'm Randy. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to season 1.
Yes. I hope you enjoyed it. Like,
We're coming back fresher than ever. Season 2, be ready for it.
and if you had any suggestions for the upcoming season,
Leave some fucking
give us some
comments,
feedback.
and I'll give
That's
you
all
kisses.
we ask for. All right. It's been real. Make smart decisions.
Wear your seatbelt.
Wear
Thanks
your
for tuning
seatbelt.
in.